In this video, I'm going to show you how to use something called the observer effect to read people's hidden intentions before they even say a word, giving you a serious edge in negotiations, dating, and everyday social situations. If you're socially unaware, you're vulnerable. Every moment you spend not understanding what people actually mean, not what they say, is a moment where you can be manipulated, underestimated, or played. After analyzing thousands of social interactions and behavioral intelligence frameworks, we developed something called the Silent Observation Framework, designed specifically for analytical minds, the introverts and old soul thinkers who follow for you mind. And don't worry, you don't need to be a psychologist or an FBI profiler to use it. What I'm about to show you are instinctive biological patterns people reveal without realizing it, signals that leak through no matter how good their social mask is. By the end of this video, you'll have 3 observation filters you can test on the very next person you talk to today. Let's start with the first one, the baseline. Before you can read anyone, you need their normal. Every human being has a behavioral baseline, the unconscious default state they operate from when they're relaxed, unstimulated, and not under psychological pressure. This is the foundation of professional behavioral analysis. The FBI, CIA, and clinical interrogators all start here before they look for anything else. Without a baseline, you're just guessing. With a baseline, every deviation becomes a data point. The introvert's analytical mind is uniquely suited to this. Where extroverts are busy filling the space, you are already watching. The goal is to direct that observation with precision, not at emotion, not at content, but at rhythm. Before you can detect a lie, a hidden intention, or a red flag, you need something to compare it to. This is called establishing a baseline, and it's the step that 99% of people skip entirely, which is exactly why they keep being surprised by people who were showing them exactly who they were the whole time. Here's how you build it in under 60 seconds. When you first enter a conversation with someone, ask them something completely neutral. Not their opinion, not something that creates pressure, something factual and low stakes. How'd you get here today? Have you been to this place before? How long have you known the host? You are not listening for the answer. You are watching the package the answer comes in. How fast do they speak? Do their hands move when they talk, or are they still? How much eye contact do they hold before they look away? How often do they blink? That rhythm, that speed, that stillness, that blink rate is their normal. And anything that breaks that rhythm later in the conversation is a signal worth reading. Most people walk into a room and start broadcasting. You walk in and you observe. That's not a social weakness. That's the first step in the only process that actually works. The baseline is your anchor. Without it, you're reading noise. With it, you're reading signals. Your natural tendency to observe before engaging isn't a social handicap. It's the exact instinct that makes this technique available to you in a way it isn't for most people. You've already been doing step 1. Now you're going to do it on purpose. The truth triangle. The mouth performs, the body confesses. Behavioral research consistently shows that human deception is expensive cognitively. When someone is constructing a false narrative, managing facial expressions, modulating vocal tone, and monitoring your reactions simultaneously, the cognitive load is enormous. The brain compensates by allowing the extremities to go on autopilot. The result: the closer the body part is to conscious awareness, the more controlled it is. The further away, the more honest. The truth triangle maps this directly. Eyes, partially controlled. Mouth, most controlled. Hands and feet, least controlled, most honest. The further from the face, the more truth you'll find. The body has a hierarchy of honesty, and once you understand it, every conversation becomes a dual broadcast, what someone wants you to hear and what they can't help but tell you. At the top of the triangle, the mouth, the most rehearsed, the most socially trained, the most curated instrument we have. People have been managing their words since childhood. The mouth is where the performance lives. In the middle, the eyes, partially conscious. There's a lot of mythology here. The idea that someone looking left means they're lying, looking right means they're remembering. The research doesn't support that as a universal rule. What the eyes do tell you is simpler and more reliable, where someone's attention is actually going when they speak to you. At the base of the triangle, the hands and the feet. This is where the real data lives. Let me give you one of the most underused signals in behavioral reading, and it's one most people never look at because it feels too obvious: the direction of someone's feet. When we are genuinely engaged in a conversation, when we want to be there, our feet naturally angle towards the person we're talking to. It's an unconscious orientation signal. It says, my body wants to move closer to you. When we want to leave, when the conversation is draining, when we're uncomfortable, when we're already mentally somewhere else, the feet rotate. They point towards the exit, towards the door, away from you. The person can be smiling, they can be nodding, they can be giving you full eye contact, and their feet are already gone. The hands tell a different story. Open palms during conversations signal transparency and openness. The person is in alignment with what they're saying. Closed fists, hands hidden under a table, hands stuffed into pockets, these are containment signals. The body is holding something back. Watch for what's called a pacifying gesture. Touching the neck, covering the mouth briefly, rubbing the hands together. These are self-soothing behaviors. They appear when the nervous system needs to regulate. When they appear in response to a specific question you asked, that question landed somewhere important. You've been conditioned to watch faces and listen to words. From now on, divide your attention differently. Let the words register at 30% and give 70% of your observational energy to the body below the neck. That's where the unedited version of the person lives. Quick side note before we continue. One of the things most people discover when they start learning behavioral observation is that reading signals is only half of the equation. The other half is how you show up socially, your confidence, your posture, the way you enter conversations. There's a short training called the 10-minute social confidence trick that breaks down a few simple adjustments that instantly change how people perceive you in social situations. If you're the analytical type who enjoys frameworks like the one we're covering here, you'll probably find it interesting. I left the link in the pinned comment if you want to check it out later.
The contempt micro-expression, the one signal that even the best performers in any room cannot fake their way out of. Dr. Carl Ekman's decades of cross-cultural research on facial expressions identified 7 universal micro-expressions, emotional signals that flash across the face in as little as 1/25th of a second, bypassing conscious control entirely. Of these 7, only one is asymmetric: contempt, a unilateral raise of the lip corner on one side only. It is the only expression in the human catalog that communicates a specific combination, superiority and moral judgment. It doesn't say, "I'm angry." It says, "I consider myself above you." It is also the only micro-expression that research associates with relationship dissolution. In couples, its presence is a stronger predictor of separation than fighting or criticism. Here it is, the one signal that even the best performers in any room cannot fake their way out of. It's called the contempt micro-expression, and it lasts less than 1/4 of a second. A single corner of the lip, just one side, rises slightly. It's almost imperceptible. If you blink, you miss it, but your body often catches it before your conscious mind does. You've experienced it as that feeling of something just shifted in a conversation without knowing why. Now you know why. Anger, frustration, even fear, these emotions can be worked through. They exist on the spectrum of engagement. Someone who is angry at you is still invested in you. Contempt is different. Contempt means someone has already made a judgment about your worth, about your place relative to theirs, and they have moved beyond anger into something colder. Dr. John Gottman, one of the leading researchers in relationship dynamics, identified contempt as the single most corrosive force in long-term relationships, more destructive than conflict, more damaging than avoidance. If you see it from a partner, a colleague, a manager, don't explain it away. Don't rationalize it. The signal is real. One important note: a single microexpression is a data point, not a verdict. Context matters. Baseline matters. One flash of contempt in a conversation that's otherwise warm and mutual is different from a pattern. What you are building here is not the ability to convict someone in your mind after one signal. You are building the ability to notice when something is real and to stop talking yourself out of what you already sensed. Your instincts were already registering these signals. You just didn't have the vocabulary for them. The quiet person in the room has always been watching. What changes now is that you know what you're looking for, and you know what it means when you find it. That's not paranoia, that's clarity. Delayed mirroring. Your body as a diagnostic tool, not just a social signal. Mirroring, unconsciously matching the posture, gestures, and speech patterns of someone you're engaged with, is a well-documented social bonding behavior. Neuroscience attributes it to mirror neurons activity. The critical variable that most behavioral frameworks ignore: timing. Immediate mirroring can be a performance. Delayed mirroring, a subtle adoption of a posture or gesture 20 to 30 seconds after the other person establishes it, is almost entirely unconscious, which means it reveals the true state of engagement in both directions. Here's how you turn your own body into a diagnostic tool, not to attract or to impress, but to test what's actually happening beneath the surface of a conversation. It's called delayed mirroring, and it works in both directions. Shift your posture deliberately. Lean back slightly. Cross one arm. Change the angle of your body. Do it naturally, not dramatically. Then wait 20 to 30 seconds. If the other person unconsciously mirrors that shift, if their body adjusts in a way that echoes yours, their nervous system is tracking you. They are engaged. They may not know it consciously, but their mirror neurons are activated, which means you have their genuine attention. If there's no shift, if their body remains completely independent of yours over multiple deliberate changes, the engagement is surface level, polite, managed. Something else is happening underneath. Here's the more advanced application. When you suspect someone is being less than honest with you, don't confront it, don't react. Instead, slow yourself down. Drop your own energy. Speak slightly slower. Breathe visibly. Let your posture open up and settle. A person who is genuinely engaged, even if they're nervous or guarded, will begin to match that rhythm. The conversation will slow with you. Their body will find your pace. A person who is performing, who is managing a narrative rather than having a conversation, will maintain their original rhythm. The two of you will fall out of sync, and that desynchronization, that gap between your energy and theirs, is the tell. You don't need to be louder to have more social power. You need to be more precise. Delayed mirroring gives you diagnostic information that most people in the room don't even know exists. Your silence is not just a trait, it's now a tool. You just went through the silent observation framework. 3 filters, 4 layers of behavioral truth that most people walk past every day without seeing. A baseline that anchors everything. A truth triangle that maps honesty to body geography. A micro-expression that cannot be faked, not even by the best social performers in any room. And a technique for using your own stillness as a precision diagnostic. From this moment on, you don't just see people, you observe them. If that comment section fills up, I'll build it. That's how this works. The pinned comment has the link to the elite social intelligence training I mentioned. If the observer effect resonated with you, that training is the natural layer. It's built for exactly this kind of mind. Knowledge is power, but silence is your greatest observation tool. Subscribe to For You Mind. I'll see you in the next insight.